Step into a space where memory lingers in every texture, yet modern clarity sharpens every edge. This is the world of modern vintage decor, a design language that thrives on contrasts, one that honors the past while moving boldly into the present. It's a style that whispers stories of time-worn furniture, of homes layered with history, but also breathes the crisp freshness of contemporary life. Imagine a sunlit room where a velvet Chesterfield sofa sits gracefully against a backdrop of minimalist white walls, or a dining table crafted from reclaimed wood surrounded by sleek, modern chairs. This is not about recreating an era, it's about weaving eras together, creating a tapestry where nostalgia and modernity coexist seamlessly. Modern vintage decor is not a rigid formula but a philosophy. It invites you to embrace imperfection, to celebrate patina, and to see beauty in things that hold memories. At the same time, it asks for balance, simplicity, functionality, and the refinement of today's design ethos. The result is a home that feels timeless yet fresh, soulful yet uncluttered, warm yet purposeful. As we journey through this exploration, we'll uncover the key foundations that define modern vintage interiors, the art of balance, the muted palettes that set the tone, the layering of textures that bring comfort, and the carefully curated objects that tell stories. We'll see how lighting becomes an atmosphere, how furniture becomes a bridge between old and new, and how every accessory becomes a chapter in the narrative of home. This is not merely about decorating a room. It's about creating a feeling, one that lingers long after you've left the space. Modern vintage decor is, at its heart, about connection, to time, to craft, to soul, and to the enduring beauty of home. Timeless foundations. At the core of modern vintage decor lies a respect for foundation. Unlike fleeting trends, this style builds its character on timeless elements that have endured across generations. Walk into a home styled in this way, and you'll notice an immediate sense of grounding. The walls may be painted in a soft neutral, ivory, beige, or warm gray, creating a calm backdrop that allows every chosen piece to stand with intention. These walls are not blank canvases in the sterile sense, they are gentle frames, holding the stage for both vintage treasures and modern essentials. Flooring, too, becomes an anchor. Hardwood floors with a natural matte finish, sometimes showing subtle imperfections, are often favored. They bring warmth and history underfoot, each knot and grain line a reminder of time. In some homes, encaustic tiles with retro-inspired patterns find their place, not overwhelming but grounding corners like entryways, kitchens, or bathrooms with personality. Yet these traditional elements are balanced by modern refinements, polished concrete, slim baseboards, or sleek metal trims that keep the aesthetic from slipping into nostalgia alone. The foundation is also built through architectural details. Arched doorways, crown moldings, or vintage radiators may remain, standing as testaments to history. Instead of erasing them, modern vintage design celebrates them, often painting trims in bold contrasts, like deep charcoal against pale walls, to highlight their charm. Yet alongside these, you may see contemporary interventions, large glass doors, streamlined shelving, or open layouts that encourage light and air to flow freely. This layering of foundational elements creates a stage that is both historical and modern. It is here, in this careful interplay, that the magic begins. Nothing feels too new, nothing feels too old. Instead, the home breathes a sense of continuity, as though it has lived many lives but remains forever relevant. And so, the foundation is not simply the physical shell of the home, it is the emotional groundwork. It sets the tone for everything that follows, ensuring that when vintage treasures and modern designs are layered atop, they feel purposeful, harmonious, and timeless. The art of balance. Balance is the beating heart of modern vintage decor. Without it, a space tips too far into nostalgia, risking a cluttered, dated feel. Or it leans too heavily on modernism, losing the soul and warmth that vintage character provides. The art lies in harmonizing both, letting each voice be heard without drowning the other. Picture this: a sleek, minimalist sofa in a muted gray fabric is paired with a carved wooden coffee table, its surface showing faint scratches from decades of use. The juxtaposition is striking. One piece speaks of clean lines and efficiency, the other whispers of time and touch. Together, they create a dialogue. Balance also manifests in scale. A grand vintage chandelier, dripping with crystals, can feel overwhelming in a contemporary home. But suspended above a clean-lined dining table with understated chairs, its drama is tamed, its beauty elevated. Similarly, a vintage Persian rug might anchor a room filled with modern furniture, grounding the space and softening its edges. This balance is not mathematical but emotional. It requires intuition, knowing when a space needs the depth of history and when it craves the simplicity of now. It's the reason a brass antique mirror can hang above a minimalist vanity, or a retro record player can sit beside a Bluetooth speaker. Each object is chosen not for trend but for resonance. The magic of modern vintage is in these juxtapositions. It is the dialogue between eras, the tension that creates beauty, and the care that ensures harmony. Color stories and mood. Color is the soul of atmosphere, and in modern vintage decor, palettes are carefully chosen to evoke warmth while keeping rooms fresh and uncluttered. Unlike bold, saturated schemes of pure vintage interiors, this style leans toward muted, calming tones. Soft whites, creamy ivories, warm beiges, and gentle grays often set the stage. These hues act as a canvas, allowing vintage details to shine without overwhelming the eye. Pastel accents, sage green, dusty rose, mustard yellow, or muted teal, weave subtle nostalgia into the mix, recalling the mid-century and retro eras. Yet, because they are softened, they feel contemporary. Dark, grounding shades are also part of the palette. Deep navy, forest green, and charcoal create contrast and sophistication. A wall painted in moody green becomes a perfect backdrop for a gilded vintage frame or a rustic wooden cabinet. At the same time, lighter accents, such as whitewashed ceramics or pale linens, keep the palette from sinking into heaviness. Patterns are restrained but purposeful. Striped cushions, geometric rugs, or floral wallpaper nod to vintage heritage without drowning the space. By limiting patterns to accent pieces, modern vintage design avoids visual clutter and maintains serenity. The result is a mood that feels cozy yet uncluttered, warm yet airy. A space you want to linger in, where every shade feels intentional, and every color tells a quiet story. Textures, materials and layers. Texture is where modern vintage decor truly comes alive. Unlike minimalism, which sometimes risks sterility, or maximalism, which can overwhelm, this style finds richness in layering diverse materials. Start with the grounding surfaces. Wood, often reclaimed, brings warmth and authenticity. A farmhouse table with a weathered finish feels alive in a modern kitchen, its surface telling stories of meals shared long ago. Metals such as brass, copper, and wrought iron add vintage charm, their patinas adding depth rather than polish alone. Contrast this with sleek chrome, stainless steel, or matte black finishes, modern touches that sharpen the look. Fabrics are equally important. Linen drapes soften windows with a breezy, organic feel. Velvet cushions or a tufted armchair bring luxury and nostalgia, while cotton throws and knitted blankets add coziness. The layering of textiles, smooth, rough, glossy, matte, creates a tactile richness that invites touch. Stone, too, plays a role. Marble countertops with subtle veining offer a timeless quality, while terrazzo floors nod to retro aesthetics. In contrast, polished concrete or smooth ceramic tiles lend modern sharpness. What ties these layers together is restraint. Each material has space to breathe, allowing its texture to shine without competing. The home becomes a symphony of surfaces, each note distinct yet harmonious. Furniture and statement pieces. Furniture in modern vintage interiors tells the clearest story of fusion. Instead of sticking to one era, the style embraces diversity, bringing together pieces from different decades with surprising cohesion. A mid-century credenza with tapered legs might serve as a TV stand, its clean lines softened by a collection of ceramic vases. A modern sectional sofa, low and streamlined, may sit across from a vintage wingback chair, the dialogue between them creating visual intrigue. Statement pieces are especially important. A tufted leather Chesterfield, an antique writing desk, or a retro sideboard instantly anchor a room with history. These are often balanced by more modern companions, minimalist shelving, glass-topped tables, or modular sofas. The goal is not uniformity but storytelling. Each piece holds a chapter of design history, yet together, they form a narrative that feels cohesive. Scale matters, too. Large vintage cabinets find balance beside sleek, modern chairs. Petite antique stools might cluster beneath a streamlined kitchen island. Every piece contributes to rhythm and proportion, ensuring no element feels out of place. Ultimately, furniture in modern vintage decor is about intentional eclecticism. It allows homeowners to collect pieces they love, old and new, and arrange them in ways that honor both beauty and function. Lighting as atmosphere. Lighting is not merely functional in modern vintage design, it is atmospheric, sculptural, and often one of the most defining features. Vintage-inspired chandeliers, industrial pendant lights, and brass sconces bring character, while modern recessed lighting and LED strips ensure efficiency and clarity. Picture a dining room. Above the table hangs a vintage glass pendant, glowing softly, while modern track lighting highlights artwork on the walls. In a living room, a retro floor lamp with a curved brass arm might stand beside a contemporary sofa, providing intimacy and character. The play between warm, ambient light and clean, functional illumination is key. Edison bulbs, with their nostalgic glow, mix effortlessly with modern smart lighting systems. The result is a layered scheme where light shifts throughout the day, bright and functional in the morning, warm and moody by evening. Light in modern vintage decor is not just about visibility, it's about mood. It invites pause, conversation, and reflection. Accessories are where modern vintage design reveals its soul. This is the layer that makes a home personal, unique, and rich with memory. Unlike mass-produced decor, vintage accessories carry history. An old clock that once marked the hours in a grandparent's home, a stack of vinyl records that conjures the soundscape of another era, or a gilded mirror that has reflected countless faces over decades. These are balanced by modern accents, abstract sculptures, minimalist vases, sleek trays, that prevent the look from becoming overly sentimental. Together, they create harmony between memory and modernity. Books, art, and textiles often serve as storytelling devices. A well-worn rug in faded reds and blues anchors a modern sofa. Black and white photographs in thin black frames hang alongside contemporary prints, blending eras seamlessly. Accessories are also curated with restraint. Instead of clutter, each piece has purpose. One of the most beautiful aspects of modern vintage decor is its adaptability across spaces. The approach is less about rigid room-by-room rules and more about creating a continuous flow. In living rooms, the dialogue between eras shines most visibly. A retro record player sits beside a sleek TV unit. A vintage rug grounds a minimalist sectional. Cushions mix modern geometric prints with traditional florals, weaving together two worlds. In dining spaces, reclaimed wood tables bring warmth, often paired with modern chairs or industrial-inspired stools. Pendant lights overhead might be vintage-inspired glass globes, illuminating gatherings with soft glow. Bedrooms become sanctuaries of texture. An antique headboard might frame a bed dressed in crisp modern linens. Nightstands can be mismatched, one vintage, one contemporary, creating personality without chaos. Kitchens highlight functionality. A farmhouse sink paired with modern cabinetry, brass handles on sleek drawers, and open shelving displaying both vintage crockery and contemporary services. Even outdoor areas embrace the theme. Rattan loungers, wrought iron chairs, and aged terracotta pots sit against sleek decking or modern planters. The result is an outdoor sanctuary that feels timeless yet stylish. Minimalism meets collecting. Modern vintage decor thrives in the space between minimalism and collecting. Unlike strict minimalism, it does not strip a room bare. Unlike maximalism, it does not overflow with objects. Instead, it curates. The minimalist side ensures clarity, fewer but better pieces, intentional layouts, and breathing room for objects to shine. The collector side adds soul, heirlooms, antiques, flea market finds, and objects that carry memory. This balance is what prevents the style from feeling staged. A modern sofa may stand alone, uncluttered, but a single vintage throw draped across it changes the mood entirely. A bare white wall may remain clean, but one antique mirror transforms it into a statement. The soul of modern vintage. At its core, modern vintage decor is about emotion. It's about crafting spaces that feel lived in yet fresh, soulful yet functional. It honors the craftsmanship of the past, the hand-carved table, the time-worn rug, while embracing the innovations of the present. It is about memory, but also about presence. The smell of aged wood mixing with the shine of new finishes. The warmth of a vintage lamp glowing beside a modern sofa. The comfort of knowing that a home can carry history without being trapped in it. Modern vintage is not just a style, it is a mindset. It says, we do not discard the past, nor do we cling to it blindly. We carry it forward, reshape it, and live within it, making it part of our present story. When we sit among these elements, we are reminded that design is a dialogue across generations. This style also teaches us the value of restraint. Modern vintage decor is not about filling rooms with antiques or crowding spaces with the newest furniture. Instead, it asks us to slow down, to curate carefully, and to honor the uniqueness of each object. It suggests that our homes should feel personal, not staged, lived in, not showroom perfect. And in that imperfection, we discover comfort, authenticity, and soul. The beauty of this approach is its adaptability. Whether your home is small or spacious, urban or rural, modern vintage decor can flourish. It thrives in the flexibility of blending, a sleek apartment softened with rustic textures, a historic house brightened with modern lighting, or a cozy retreat layered with both old and new. Its language is universal because it speaks to the human desire for warmth, familiarity, and relevance. Ultimately, the extended truth of modern vintage decor is this: our homes are not static museums nor sterile boxes. They are living archives. They hold memories, reflect values, and evolve with us. By choosing modern vintage, we choose to honor the past while crafting a present that feels both timeless and alive. This is not just design. This is storytelling through space, and it is a story that never ends. And so, we arrive at the essence of modern vintage decor. A style that is not about eras, but about emotion. Not about perfection, but about resonance. It's a design language that asks us to live among stories, those of generations before us and those we are writing today. Whether it's a velvet sofa beside a glass coffee table, a farmhouse table beneath modern lighting, or a gallery wall mixing old photographs with new art, every detail becomes part of a conversation. Together, they weave a home that is not simply decorated, but alive.